Here's Liz, whose bladder leaks drop in uninvited. But instead of period pads, she brought Poise Ultra Thin, so she can bounce on with clean, dry, fresh protection from Poise.
All right. What's going on? Sorry. I totally forgot to update the links in the description for Owlbear Rodeo and the initiative tracker. So I was doing that real quick, and I looked up, and it was literally hitting 0 as I was hitting save. So anyway, what's going on? Let me catch up on some comments here. My fault. Lots of fireballs I see. I don't know if anybody beat mine or not. What's up, Widget? How you doing? Jesse, what's up? Jesse, yours like 4, 8, 12, 18, 23, 24, 25, 26. I mean, it's right at the middle. There's 3 ones at the end hurt. The 3 4s at the beginning were nice. I wonder if this is the stream where Brandon breaks my collector heart and goes live with the location cards. I will keep your heart intact. Tonight is not the night. I do have some fun news, but tonight is not the night, so you are good for the moment. See some magic missile. Place cards, working on places. Yeah, so Jesse, we'll definitely have. Only one exists that would make them more valuable. Yeah, so we're gonna have locations coming. I've been working on trying to compile a list of locations. Just way harder than you would think. But yeah, I'm going through, and the hard part, as I mentioned last week, honestly, after I get all these locations together, is deciding what the CR for these is, because I don't know how you give a location a CR. So I'm doing all the different planes. The material plane is definitely going to be a CR30. So, but then, you know, obviously you've got Waterdeep and you've got Baldur's Gate. Those are very big. So I got to go through some kind of process to see what will be the proper CRs. So to the news that I mentioned that I had. So a couple things we noticed. Number one, well, first off, Widget, while you're here, what are you, like 6 or 7 away from the complete base set? That's insane. Good on you. I mean, I'm just watching you slowly make trades and tick them off one by one. So, yeah, stoked for that. Huge. But as I was going through Sachamon a little bit, I did notice 2 things. Number one, I forgot in the Curse of Strahd set, in the expansion, when I sent the list over to Nimbian. Shah, what's going on? I sent the list over to Nimbian and forgot to tell him the 2... You know how in every expansion we have 2 cards that are always holographic. I forgot to do that in Curse of Strahd, and no one caught it. So they were supposed to be, obviously, Strahd, Vladimir, or whatever his name, Von Strahd, that guy. And then the other one was Baba Lysaga. So as someone who's never played Curse of Strahd, that seemed to be a pretty fun character that people liked. So I picked that one. But I forgot to tell Brian that. So he now has, there were 18 cards pulled. I think, Jesse, you were actually the most recent one. You pulled, actually Strahd, you pulled Strahd right before I noticed it. So there were 18 cards that have been pulled out of those 2. So those are going to be updated. They will be holographic, as they should have been, and the values for them will be updated as well. So they'll be worth more. Oh, there he is. Brian's here now. He said he's updating now. So those will be updated. If you have one of those cards, it'll be worth more, but they are the more special cards within the set. So the other thing that I noticed, and I think that we're actually okay after I was talking to Brian, because it might have been intentional. But when Shady Cloud got his hero card from the last event that we did, we implemented the new rule where you pull a pack of cards, and then the highest CR card there is what your hero card will be. Whomper did that, and he rolled an 11. So he upgraded his from a CR of 1/4 to a CR of 11. The problem is we haven't decided how we're going to do that yet. Should that be only the cards post fixing it, or should it be all of them, or how should that be adjusted? So that's one thing we are working on, but I noticed it at the same time I was looking into the other 2. So one change has been made, as Brian said. The other one we may be making in the future here. So that's the 2 big updates on Sachamon that I noticed we had some errors there. And it actually goes along with Jesse talking about the location cards, saying there should only be 1 of each, because one of Brian's ideas was to have like an error cards set, if you will, where the ones that were already pulled, we just leave them, but we mark them in some way to be part of the errors set. the problem with that then is that there are so few of them that, you know, not everyone ever will be able to have them. Now, I know that's the case with the promo cards, but as long as you've been around, everyone has the ability to get the promo cards, where with something like the Zera cards, you know, once they're there, and that's all we got. So, I don't know if we're going to do that, but that was just a funny thing that Brian had mentioned too. So those are the updates. Let me catch up on some comments here. I see them flying up. That'd be a nightmare. We were debating if Heroes Haven should be... Oh, yeah, that's right. Heroes Haven. What CR should Heroes Haven? I am biased, obviously, so Heroes Haven in my head is definitely CR 30. But there were definitely good arguments for others, so who knows? Use polls, let everyone else help decide. I love that idea. It will be a poll. We're probably going to have several hundred locations, so we'll have to find a good way to do that if we're going to do that. Hello, Shah, Slayer of the Nightbot. Shah. Yeah, we'll see what Shah's roles are looking like. Stradvod Vampire Guy, pretty much. As someone who didn't play it, that's all I really remember him as at this point. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Blitz? How you doing? How was vacay? Did I go on vacation this week? What did I do? Where did I go? Oh, I had... Was it the... No, I didn't do anything last week. Unless you were talking to somebody else. I couldn't remember if someone else was going on vacation. Last weekend was my only weekend off because I started the new job this week, so I made sure I didn't have vacation last weekend. So, yeah, last weekend was actually relatively calm, I guess. Calm before the storm. So camping, I did the weekend prior. And that was a ton of fun. It was very hot, as we mentioned last weekend. It was hot and rainy, but it was still very fun. So Brian said, all updated. We saw that. Hey, Widget, getting close to that full base set. Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah, I am, but now the ones are rare and or expensive. It's funny, I was talking to Brian earlier, Widget, and I was like, you know, yeah, Widget's right there. And the problem is that the ones that he needs are really big cards, and he's running out of money. So that's going to get in the way a little bit. So Jesse's voting post-fix, it looks like. And then my rolls, yeah, camping. All right, cool. So I caught up. So I know the other thing that I will bring up real quick in response to last week, for those of you that were here, we talked about I have a set that will include Tiamat. And I mentioned that I may have that ready by this stream. It is ready. Brian has all the info for it. But in conversation, Brian had some good ideas as why not to release tonight. So, it is ready. It is coming. And we have some ideas on when it is coming. But we're going to keep that a surprise because that's the fun part. So, just letting you know, I didn't lie. The set is ready to go, and it is ready to be inputted. I mean, unless, Brian, you put it in. I don't think you did, though. So, I'll just check real quick. And we're good. Yeah, it's not in there. So, we do have it. It's coming. It's just not here. So, yeah, that's my quick update for that. Can we start with the upgrades? Sure. So, I didn't dive too far into it. So, what you have from last week. So, what we gathered from the encounter prior, when you guys fought the young blue dragon, you had a bunch of dragon scales, claws, and teeth that you wanted to turn into things, as we discussed last session. So, you wanted to turn dragon scales into a shield. You wanted to turn dragon claws into daggers. And you wanted to turn dragon teeth into arrows. I very much like the idea. So how many teeth do we have? We have 2 teeth. So one of the ideas I thought for the arrows, the benefit that you would get by crafting them into arrows is that it would do 1d4. I was between a d4 and a d6. I think I'm landing a d4 because it was a young blue dragon. 1d4 lightning damage additionally with the shot. And then I was thinking the same thing with the dagger. But it would be 1d4 lightning damage additionally to every attack that you make with the dagger. So that was just the idea I had for those two. And then for the dragon scales on the shield, I wasn't sure how I wanted to go with that because there were several ideas I had as far as what should the shield be able to do. And so should it be more resistant to maybe lightning damage? Maybe. The other option was should it be able to like do damage was a thought, but I don't think that's the route I would go. So the arrows are a one-time thing, but the daggers would be reusable. And the arrows, I mean, that's a good question, because if you pick up the arrows, you pick up the arrows. Yeah, maybe they're all one-time thing. I don't know. Arrows of dragon slaying. They could be. I mean, the dagger, Dragon Slayer dagger could be a thing. Because I think it's just Dragon Slayer. I think Dragon Slayer is any weapon, not necessarily just a martial weapon, if I remember correctly. But that's also a +1 weapon. You'd have to get it enchanted and all that stuff. So maybe, yeah, because I really don't want to overshoot it with these things. So maybe it's one-time use for each of them, or maybe we lower it to maybe the daggers do a set amount, maybe like an additional 1 or 2 lightning damage per. Dragon scales resistance on shield. So that's kind of what I was thinking of with the shield. Is so you craft the shield. It's obviously got the blue dragon scales on it, and the blue dragon is immune to lightning damage and such. So, oh come on, camera. No. How many times do we have to do this per stream? There we go. So, but it is definitely going to cost money to craft these, and it's not going to be cheap. So, we'll say with the dragon scales, I'll say while wielding the shield, you have a resistance to lightning damage. And if we give me 1 second here, so I would put that at an equivalent price to buy. Oh, what is that? Hold on, let me pull up what Jesse said here. And all right, arrow of slaying. That's fun. Ammunition, very rare. An arrow of slaying is a magic weapon meant to slay a particular kind of creature. Some are more focused than others. For example, there are both arrows of dragon slaying and arrows of blue dragon slaying. If a creature belongs to the type, race, or group associated with an arrow of slaying takes damage from the arrow, creature must make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw, taking an extra 60/10 piercing damage on a failed save. Once an arrow of slaying deals an extra damage to a creature, it becomes a non-magical error. I like it a lot. It's just a little overpowered for a young blue dragon thing, in my opinion. But that does point to the idea of once it's used, it becomes not magical. So I'll say the arrows. Let's do this because I do want to make it at least worth it. So the arrows, if you craft the arrows, we'll say that it's 75 gold pieces per arrow to craft these. However, each one, when used, will do an extra 1d12 lightning damage to whatever the target is. Once it's used, it'll be non-magical. For the dagger, that'll be a little bit more pricey to craft. I'll put that one at maybe about 700 gold, but it is a perpetual 1d4 additional lightning damage whenever used. So 75 gold for the arrow. Half it. Are you saying half? What do you mean by half it, Jesse? So 75 gold per arrow, and each one will do 1d12 lightning damage once. And then the Dragon Claw Daggers, I think I said 700 gold. But it does an additional 1d4 lightning damage every time you use it. And then the Dragon Scales into Shield. So that one, I will say, while wielding, will grant you resistance to lightning damage. And since you have the scale, how many scales do you have? I got 15, and they're pretty large. It's got enough. So with that, with it being a resistance, but you have the materials, they're just crafting it for you. I'll put that one at, we'll say 1,800 gold pieces for lightning resistance. All right. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about that? Are we interested in the shield? Are we interested in the daggers? Are we interested in the 2 arrows? Scales just to lightning. So it is just to lightning because it was a blue dragon. Blue dragons specifically are immune to lightning. But obviously fire does the same amount of damage to a blue dragon as any other damage, and so on. So they have the different colored dragons that are resistant to different things. So if it was a red dragon, for instance, I would change that damage to be fire damage instead of lightning. Even if you leave it as is, the next time we will come across a blue dragon. Since it was a young dragon, use 3d10. It says 60-10. I got it. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I mean, I could. It just makes it a lot more expensive also, I imagine. Arrow of Slaying. But maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if it's in here. That's all right. We'll keep it as is. We'll keep it as is because, I mean, it's just a dragon tooth on an arrow. Let's see. Even if you leave it as is, what's the next time we'll come across? Yes, I read that. I'd rather take upgrade to armor class than lightning resistance. Yeah, I mean, it's not magical per se. I mean, you're just having somebody kind of craft a shield out of the scales themselves. So they're kind of just making a regular shield, but they're using the scales to do so. And so because the scales naturally have a resistance to lightning, I feel like that would be more appropriate than a higher AC because it's not really changing your armor class, if that makes sense. And by the way, all of this would be done at the... Is that... Oh, what is... Do you see the little lights above my head? Right... Oh, right there. You see that little light? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Oh, maybe it might be a light shining through my green screen. I have no idea. It was freaking me out though. Yeah, it looks like something's twinkling above my head. Yeah. So you are in Heroes Haven right now. Also, by the way, so if you were to craft any of these items, that would be over at the Hardened Hammer. And then if you want, you can obviously stop at the magic shop if you want to do that, or whatever it is you guys want to do before leaving. Dragon Heart options. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe... You know what? I'm thinking some kind of potion. And I'm wondering if... One second. There's a light of mine. Yeah, these little lights. There's a few of them. One second. I wish that this had a... Okay. I'm thinking maybe something along the lines of a potion of resistance with the heart. You could probably get a couple of them out of the heart, I imagine. So I'd say maybe they could craft 3 potion of lightning resistance. And each one... I can actually tell you the price because I have the guide. Where is that guide? It's a good question. Documents. Oh, I bet you it's in my. Oh, do I still have the USB over here? Yeah. Because I don't remember what that guide is called. So if you give me a 1 second. References. Magic item price guide. Okay. Yeah, if you the discerning merchant's price guide. Here, I'll pull this up for you to see. Because if you haven't used this before, I use it all the time. Let's go to viewers play D&D. So I don't remember where I downloaded this, but if you just type that in, I'm sure you'll find it. But it's got prices for all of the regular magic items. So if I go down to the potion of resistance, oh yeah, it does it by, there you go. So it puts it at 500 gold pieces. I'd say that you are bringing some of the materials. So I'd put it at maybe 350. 350 for the per potion of resistance, and they can make 3 of them out of that heart for you. I used 2 scales from Venom Fang and Lost Mines and came in clutch as the entire party was dying. Missed the first one and hit the second one. Nice. Used to make an oil of dragon slaying for a weapon. Interesting. Cap died so many times. Digs into their bag. Sustenance. He bites into the dragon heart. Becomes resistant forever. Yeah, so I'll say with the heart, 350 times 3. Potion of resistance, lightning. And that's with the dragon heart potion. Oh, by the way, the amount of gold you have, sorry. You have 4,443 between your party. 4,433 between your party. And you have a malachite, a blue quartz, and 2 bloodstones, which are each worth 50 as well. Are you open to other potion possibilities? Sure. Sure. And in the meantime, I can also pull up the shop that was generated, if that's something you'd like to look at as well. Where is... Bone track hard potions or Cap eats it. Almost there. Okay. So here are, thinking maybe a potion of heroism. Interesting. Let me see. Potion of heroism. Grants the drinker 10 temporary hit points for 1 hour. Drinks under the effects of the bless spell. The potion is blue and steams and bubbles as if gently boiling within its vial. I mean, that one's not... Oh, was that a critical roll thing? That's interesting. Was it? It looks like it might have been. No, it says basic rules. Page 188. Okay. Why was that on the critical roll thing when it popped up? Yeah, so for 1 hour. Yeah, I could say that maybe it's used in that, considering it says blue potion. And steams as if boiling. So, 1 hour after drinking it, you gain 10 temporary hit points. I wish I hadn't exited out of that. Where is it at? Dungeons & Dragons 5e references. Magic item price guide. So, potion of heroism is a little bit more. So, I'll say that... Okay, so here's your options. I'll narrow it down just so that way we can move forward. So, it has the potential to make 3 potions of resistance or 2 potions of heroism. The potions of heroism will run 600 apiece. 600 times 2. Potion of heroism. All right. So here are the options. We have eat it. We have the dragon scales turned into a shield for 1,800 gold pieces, and it will grant the person that is wielding the shield lightning resistance. We have the dragon claws into daggers that will be normal daggers with an additional 1d4 lightning damage added to the damage roll, and that is 700 gold pieces. We have the dragon teeth arrows, 75 gold apiece, one-time use for 1d12 lightning damage additionally. Then we have the dragon heart potion, which can either be 3 potions of resistance, each worth 350 to craft, or a dragon heart potion of heroism, which is 600 each, and you can make 2 of them. So that's those options, and then you also had whatever's in the shop here. And again, you have about 4,400 gold pieces. You also have 2 regular healing potions and a potion of greater healing, by the way. Heroism gives you 1d10 temporary hit points that last for an hour. And then for that same duration, you are under the blessed spell without concentration required. So you are blessed for an hour, which allows you to roll a d4 on all of your rolls. Well, I say all of your rolls. Most of your rolls. Marie, what's going on? How you doing? We are going to be playing some D&D, so feel free to stick around and play with us. We're doing a little shopping right now beforehand. So, welcome. Right now, I'm scrolling through the shop as they're deciding what they want to do with the other stuff that they have the option of buying. So, any interest in any of the available stuff? Have you seen Nuyasha? I have not. I have not. Let me see. Let's see what it is, while they determine what it is they would like to purchase, if anything. It's funny, I feel like I've seen like the gold total is 4433. I feel like I've seen like a clip or 2 of this show. And actually, I could probably... That is the options there, too. One of each potion and all equipment. Shah, that is the total gold of the party. I leave the item choices to the chat. I'm on the clock. Doesn't the party have gems to sell? Yes, you have 4 gems that are each worth 50, so you could have an additional 200. Oh, I never rolled dice over here in Twitch. A 9 and a 2. Ugh. Yes, there is an enchanter. So that would be Spencer over at the magic shop. He can enchant things for a price. A bit of a hefty price. I've been thinking, I think I'm also going to redo all the character sheets in some kind of editable format, so that way, as you guys gain things, I can update them. Have you read The Inheritance Cycle? I gotta say, not a big reader. That's on me. I should definitely read a lot more. But no, so I have not. Are these totals complete items, or would they still need to be enchanted? So as is, they are complete items, because they're not really... They are magical, I guess. I would just say that they're like residual energy from the dragon. So no, they would not have to be enchanted. They just have to be crafted with the materials that you have. What is my purse total? So I'm not totally sure what you mean by that. If you mean, if you add the 200, it's 46.33. If you mean what does it cost for, like what Jesse said, 18, 25, plus 2 additional arrows, 26.50, 27. It would be 3,300. Yeah, so for everything Jesse said, it would be 3,300, and you have 4,433 gold with the ability to have 200 additional gold if you would like. What is the funniest prank your character has pulled? So I only DM for the most part. I think one of the funnier things that happened was in Lost Mines of Phandelver. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is a point where one of the characters, they get to confront someone who kicked them out of a group. And so the person who was playing that character asked why he got kicked out. He was told that it was because someone else said he was stealing. And so that person said, so what? And then the person who was leading the group, the NPC leading the group, said, well, what, are you just going to let people steal from you? And the guy said, well, yeah. And the person right next to him immediately went, I take something out of his pocket. And the guy who just lied said, I let him. And he stole. And next thing you know, one by one, everyone in the party was taking things out of his pocket. So that was kind of a mishap on his part. Not necessarily a prank, but it was a quick way for everyone else to grab something from him. So that was funny. Along with the update character sheets, can we get a spreadsheet of items that we have in their cost? Yes, that's part of what I want to do as well. Because, like, for instance, I have a list of the items here. And, like, Dragon Slayer's on there, which is obviously an item that Captain Ommoll is using. So, yes, I will definitely find a way to give you the item list that they have as well. So, alright, I will let you guys think about it. Either way, they're going to have to spend some time crafting the items anyway. So it's not like it's just going to be ready right here and now. So think about it. Get back to me on what you want to do. Now at least you know what they do. And maybe you can hit me up on the Discord after the stream and say, or we can start a conversation on Discord of what we want the characters to have started here. I'll say that they could have paid for it now and had them start to be crafted now. But either way, they won't be ready by the time you go on this next quest. So we will get to the quest here. Unless, was there anything in the magic shop that you guys wanted? I know I did scroll down it. But if you guys are crafting the other things, Might not be anything you want here. All right. Now, where were we? Oops. Minimize that. Whoop. Giving away all the goods there, the secrets, even though you can just click the link underneath and go check it out. Okay, so you make your way over to the town hall to grab the quest for your group. Can Cap at least save a sliver of the dragon heart to eat? Doesn't do anything, but he's hungry. Sure, yeah. I mean, he cuts like a little, just a little slice off, kind of like a sushi. But yeah, he'll take a bite of it. It's gross. It's definitely gross, but I mean, he's hungry enough. He'll eat it. So you make your way over to the town hall and you check out Craig's list of quests that he has up there, and you see one that's kind of rated for your party size and your group's capabilities. And it's titled Stench Extinguishing. And you read it, and it tells you that a place by the name of East Hallow, up in the... Oh, what are the woods to the northeast? 1 second. I didn't write it down. Map of Faerun, medium quality, or medium resolution. Hold on. It was something like a... Yeah, Forest of Worms. There we go. I was going to say something about a dragon. The Forest of Worms. Yeah, the immersion's gone at this point. Good stream. Catch y'all later. So, a place by the name of East Hallow up on the edge of the Forest of Worms has requested help because it has been perpetually plagued by a disastrously foul smell in part of its kind of like farmland on the edge of the forest for years. The affected locals there have traced it to a cavern in the nearby forest, but are unable to get close because of the extreme odor. In a recent exchange of power, the new lord has made it a priority to eliminate the odor, and so he is asking for your assistance. So, yeah, that's all you really know at the moment. So your party packs things up, gets ready to go, and heads... It's just a few days north. This one's not too far. You guys aren't going out into the Anarok or anything. My character is a half-demon, dragon rider, airbender. I like to imagine you just fly next to your dragon. You don't even ride it. Oh, Kelly, what's going on? I am so happy that you guys let me know when someone over in Twitch says hello, because I feel bad when I miss that, so I apologize. Kelly, welcome. How you doing? Buy 4 bandanas and a large pile of cologne. So, I mean, is that real? Do you want to buy 4 bandanas and a large vial of cologne? Can definitely do that. I mean, well, the cologne might be hard to come by, but you can definitely come by some bandanas before you head there. So your group is packing things up, and we'll just determine if you decided to get the bandanas or not. And starts heading north, and it'll be a few days travel, like I said. But it gets to a point where you make it to the edge of this small town that you were sent to find, called East Hallow. You were able to use legends, lore, and love stories to just get a good idea of the direction. And so you come across this, it's a big farmland that you hit first on your way up north towards the forest. And as you kind of center yourself in this town, you start to see more and more houses get closer together to a point where you're something... If you've played Lost Mines of Phandelver, definitely smaller than Phandalin. It is a small town, but very, very successful in the farming industry here because the crops are doing well. They're right on the northern end of the, the Deadlands? Fields of the Dead, there you go. Fields of the Dead. So it's a very successful farmland here, and they are all kind of collectively pulling that money together to build this small town of theirs. So... as you get there, you do see centered in the whole town that's almost circular in shape right on the edge of the forest, this what looks to be a town hall. And you do see the farmers start to kind of look your way, but the big thing that you notice is just, it is a decrepit just nasty odor. It's like, at first you think that maybe they just fertilize the fields, then you start to think that maybe it's the livestock, and then you're wondering if you're near a gravesite, and collectively all the smells just start to mix together to a point where, I mean, your eyes are watering just entering this town. But you are making your way at this point towards that town hall. So I ask you now, what is it you would like your party to do? Buy 4 bandanas and a large vial of cologne. My dragon Yellow Star is a dragon from the Harrison cycle, and she's golden color with blue eyes. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Walsen, you saw that? Oh, yeah, I smell that. And Damien kind of looks over and then looks at Lenka as if maybe it was him. And Lenka looks back and kind of gives him a nasty eye. And Captain just continues to lead the way. Not really reacting, but it seems like maybe he's got a little bit of a pep in his step, trying to avoid whatever this is. When the fertilizer folk complain about the smell, you know it's bad. Never been in a Thieves Guild, have you? Oh, never been in a Thieves Guild, have you? Just all Thieves Guilds are just perpetually disgusting. So as you are kind of entering the outskirts of the buildings, and you kind of draw on the eye of some of the farmers and the help, you know, everyone lets you in. It's not uncommon for people to travel through the town. People live in their means, let's not judge. As Captain Ommoll says, kind of under his breath, letting the others know to, like, relax a little bit. You could be hurting somebody's feelings. As his eyes are watering from the smell. Flying whoopee cushions. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun animated object to add. We could add that to the animated set over in Sachemon. Add a flying whoopee cushion and then make a card for it. And go put it in the animated inanimates. Who's our point of contact here? So, as Captain Ommoll strolls into one of the outer streets there and sees several people passing by. Excuse me. Looking for a point of contact here. We have been sent out here to assist in whatever it is this foul odor is being crafted from. And so a farmer stops for a moment. He's got one horse just kind of pulling a smaller cart full of what looks to be some kind of wheat crop. Yes, he's over there in the center building, the taller building. You can find him there. I'd be mighty happy if you could get rid of this smell. Oh, you'll find Louie over there. And he kind of taps Ommoll on the back and continues walking forward. Is it getting stronger closer to town? Go ahead and roll a perception check with advantage. Collectively, you're all kind of smelling it as you're walking in. So we'll get the first roll of the night. Let's get a perception check at advantage. Yeah, you'll have to put the D20. You don't have to put the AC. Yeah, there you go. A 7 and a 14. So with a +4 for perception, that is an 18. So as as the man kind of walks off and continues on down the road, and your party starts to just take in the scent and try and see maybe where it's coming from, Captain Ommoll kind of gets down. Not Captain Ommoll, I'm sorry, Walsen. Kind of gets down towards the ground to see if maybe it's coming from the ground. There's no real streams running through here at the moment, but he notices that it doesn't necessarily get stronger towards the ground, like it's coming from there. And it is getting stronger as you get closer to the center of town, but you're not sure if it's because it's coming from the center of town or if it's coming from that general direction, which, as I mentioned, you're kind of coming from this big field towards the town with the forest behind it. So it is definitely getting stronger as you're getting closer to the center of town, which is right on the edge of the forest. but you're not sure if that's the reason why or if it's the forest that's doing it. Hide that road. That. Cool. Checks dirt or creek. So yeah, so there's not really any kind of creek or water nearby. And as he got down and kind of checked the dirt, there's nothing that stands out as being the cause of this. The dirt just kind of looks like normal dirt. And I will say with the 18, there's definitely manure in the dirt. They have fertilized it. That's what farmers do. But most everyone at this time period knows what that smells like. And this is by far way worse than that. I mean, maybe there's a hint of manure, but there is a concoction of other just terrible, nasty smells mixed in with it. All right. So at this point, Captain Ommoll continues to head on towards that town hall that they kind of pointed to. It looks like it would be the town hall. It's definitely the largest building here. And as you come up to it, it's well constructed. It's definitely made out of nice, thick lumber. It looks like basically made out of almost entire logs built up from the side, but well crafted. It's got a very tall thatched roof pointed in the center, and it kind of goes around in the circle to kind of mimic the shape of the town itself. And then on one side, you have a set of steps that comes up to a set of double doors. And those doors, you can't tell if they're locked or unlocked. But it does seem like this is open to all. Smells like... nothing I can tell, Trickster. Smells like after a good fireball. Man, this must be pretty annoying. I feel like that's something Walsen would say as he's just walking by. So Captain Ommoll will strut up the steps and just kind of check the door, and it opens up. And as he walks into the town hall itself, it's rather warm in here. There's no kind of AC or anything, but I think like the thatch roof kind of being just on the edge of the forest, you're not in the forest, you got the sun beating down. It's pretty hot, and it almost is like it's just making the smell even worse inside of here. And as you go in, you see a kind of tall wooden seat back behind a wooden table, and there are several farmers currently complaining to someone sitting in that seat about the smell. And at the same time, you hear that person in the seat responding back, I know, I have reached out for help. I'm just waiting for them to get... And he notices the armor on Captain Ommoll as he walks in. He's like, oh, there they are. This has to be them. Please tell me you are here from Heroes Haven to rid us of this foul, foul odor. Please. What is it you would like to do or say? Bum, 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 bum. I do always forget about that. Indeed we are. Wait, oh, nice. Indeed we are. The Raging Bull from Heroes Haven. What can you tell us about this abominable stench? Kind of coughs under his breath a little bit. Oh, it's just been here for years, and it always seems to get worse in the summertime, and I just knew the second I took power, this would be the first thing I did in office was find some way of getting rid of the smell. And so I sent 2 of our guards to get as close as possible to whatever it is seems to be causing it. And, Well, they came back running with their tail between their legs, and you see as he looks over, and there are two men kind of stationed by the door. They're like sitting down at a small table next to the door. And they both kind of look up and they shake their head, and one of them pipes up, "Oh, come on. If you had gone out there, you'd have ran back too. Your eyes are watering just as bad as mine are." And you sense that everyone's on the same page here. You know, it's uncommon to talk to a lord like that, but it must be pretty bad for them to be able to do so, and the lord just accept it because he gets it. It's terrible. So he lets you know. So it came running back, and now I knew I needed to reach out. We got the gold together. We're hoping, you know, that we can pay you to go take care of this. What we've got is it's coming from some cavern about a mile in this direction, and he points towards the woods. They got as close as maybe 100 feet out, and then they knew if they got any closer, they weren't sure if they were going to make it. They felt themselves start to get a little woozy and lightheaded, so they turned around and came running back, and now I'm hoping maybe you might be able to do it yourself, seeing as how our own warriors couldn't handle it. And he looks at him again. I wrap my blanket around my face to keep my nose away from the smell. Okay, so yeah, you watch as, we'll say Lenka definitely does that. Lenka at this point has kind of ripped off a piece of his tunic and has kind of made his own bandana around his face. It doesn't really seem to help, but, you know, mentally it's helping him feel like it's doing something. So did you see anything, or did you just run away? And at that point, the guard's like, "Oh, come on, I didn't really run. I just got out of there as fast as I could, okay? Unconscious soldier's not useful at all, okay? I'm here to at least protect the town from other forces." But no, we didn't see anything. It was a very dark cave. Well, the only thing we really saw was coming out of the cave seemed to be some low floating fog. It wasn't super dense at the entrance of the cave, but definitely something warding us off, that's for sure. "Well, did you have any clerics with ya?" No, we don't have any clerics around here. We kind of take care of our own the old-fashioned way. A few bandages and get back out there, champ. My blanket is just covering my nose. I like to think that now Walsen says that as he pulls out this, like from his bedroll, he's got a small blankie that he just kind of wraps around his nose. And he's holding up to his nose. Damien climbs the tallest building. So while they're kind of talking this out, Damien slinks back out of the town hall and tries to climb the side of the logged building. So go ahead and roll we'll say an acrobatics check for Damien, if you will. I need to get to, there it is. Oh, what happened to the music there? $17, and I think he's got pretty good acrobatics. 1 second. Acrobatics is a +7, so 24. So with grace, as he goes back out to the outside of it, he kind of grabs what looks to be like an old knotty spot on one of the logs on the outside of the building, grabs onto it, kind of swings up, and you watch as his, well, you don't watch, but some other folks watch as his foot kind of hits into one of the creases between two other logs, and he pushes back off of that and just continues to pull himself up these logs to the thatched roof, where at that point he just climbs his way up to the top of the town hall. At this point, you're maybe about 30 feet up in the air. And so the people inside hear as he slowly climbs up that roof. And so at that point, Ommoll yells out, "What do you see up there, Damien?" So go ahead and roll a perception check now. Marie, how does he react to seeing the yellow star? Okay, I want to apologize, Marie. I did not realize that you were talking about right here in this campaign. I thought you were saying you play D&D and your character is said person with said dragon. Got it. I misunderstood. So at this point, I would say that it would be an odd canon for me to throw it in there. So maybe next time. Also, having a pet dragon would be very overpowered. And I think you said it was a gold dragon, right? It's a dragon from the Harrison cycle. She's golden color. Yeah, gold dragons. Nice. Yeah, if I can get a perception check to see what Damien sees. Let me switch this to a foresty sound if I have one on here. There you go. There we go. All right. Perception check. Anybody want to roll a perception check? I can totally roll it for you. I'm saving my rolls. Nice. Widget rolls a d20. Why is that not popping up? That's odd. Oh, there it is. 15. 15. And I think Damien's was a +2. Nope, -1. 14. So, in perusing the forest behind the town, you don't necessarily catch anything that stands out. You start to look in the direction that the guards pointed and that the Lord pointed in, but you don't see anything that stands out from here except maybe what looks to be a hillier section of trees, but nothing that points anything out. Although, I will say from here, the smell isn't as bad. It still smells a lot, but it's not. You can definitely tell that the higher you go, the less it seems to sink. Yeah, Damien says and yells down. All right, looks like it's smellier down there. It's not much better up here, but it's smellier down there. And at that point, he's going to turn and kind of slide down the thatched roof, slide off the edge of it, and with like a little bit of a tuck and roll, he 3-point landing, stands up, brushes himself off, heads back inside. Captain Ommoll at that point, it's like, all right, let's go see what we can do. And he's going to turn and walk out of the building. Hero landing. some guy out in the field. He faints in astonishment from the sick flip that just happened. So your crew starts heading in the direction that was pointed. And it's only about a mile's walk, so go ahead and roll a survival check for me. Although it's not going to be too difficult. You're just trying to follow exactly where they pointed, and you're not going too far. But I'll get a quick survival check from you guys. D20. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. Sorry, my wife just got home. Give me 1 second. Oh, fuck. Whoop, wrong thing. All right, there we go. I'm back. 14. So 14 plus. I mean, it could have been an advantage, but honestly, that's plenty high enough. At least 4. So 14 plus 4, 18. So easy enough. You managed to stay on track, heading the direction that you were pointed. And the smell is getting worse and worse and worse. And at this point, all 4 of you are starting to kind of cough and try and find ways to breathe any kind of fresh air. You're like shoving your face into like patches of grass just to sniff the grass, and it's not even great, but it's a little better. And After about 5 to 10 minutes of walking through the forest, you come across a small clearing that looks to open up to a bit of a hill here, where there is a cavern that looks to be pretty dark on the inside. There's a small, faint amount of light, maybe just the light coming in from the exterior, but it looks to be pretty dark in there. And so with that, I will bring you here. Check out the description for links for character sheets. We play the party as a hive mind, so chat can suggest what the characters do or say together. That is correct. I probably should have clarified that. My apologies. Appreciate it, Widget. So now that you are outside the cave and you see that fog that they were talking about that's kind of emanating, and it kind of stays towards the ground and dissipates as it reaches the exterior of the cave. But the stench is rancid. It smells terrible where you are. So what is it you would like to do as you kind of pull up to the cage? Never gonna make it on time for streams. No problem, Tortle. What's going on? Quick update. Your party has been tasked by a local town to get rid of a rancid smell. It smells awful where you're at right now. And you have just arrived at the foot of what looks to be, I mean, it's not a massive cave by any means. The hill that it's on doesn't seem to be very large. There's definitely a cave here. It is awful. You are coughing. You're finding it hard just to breathe here. And you can see as you get close to the cave, this small layer of what looks to be some kind of grayish-green fog emanating. It sticks to the ground, kind of, and then as it hits the exterior of the cave, it kind of dissipates into the atmosphere. So what would you like to do? Inhale the smoke. Disconnected. Am I still here? Oh, reconnection successful. Okay. I am still here, right? This thing just popped up that said OBS disconnected, but then reconnected. So if I'm still here, let me know you can see me. Damien fires a flaming arrow into the cave. Sure, you can light an arrow on fire. So Damien takes one of his arrows, uses one of the, a little bit of the tinderbox, somebody's tinderbox. It's kind of flickering on one end. That's odd. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not storming right. It's great outside, and I have good internet connection, so I don't know why that even happened. But no idea. Hopefully it fixes itself pretty quick. Using somebody's tinderbox, he manages to light one of the arrows just on fire. And it doesn't seem to be lasting long, but he lights it real quick and he sends it into the cavern, and you watch as it kind of disappears into the darkness, lights up the tunnel a little bit, and then just lands on the ground and goes out. As that fire goes out, no air in there. Yeah, the fire definitely went out. Alright, won't explode with fire. Do we have something close to gas masks? Unfortunately not. I mean, two of them are already kind of holding up fabrics to their face, hoping that that might make a difference, but it doesn't seem to be. Oh, at least Fireball's still okay. And they all turn and they look at Lenka, who's got this kind of a giddy grin on his face. Blankets and bandanas, yeah, are the best you've got. And like I said, I mean, the fabric doesn't seem to be doing much of a difference. I mean, obviously, holding their nose seems to make a little bit of a difference, but I mean, you just almost it just sticks with you. Have Walsen and Lenka cast light on 2 objects and soldier forth into the cave. And Walsen casts Beacon of Hope. I forget how long that one takes. But this could be a good time to use it, because I know we always try to use it. Whoa. That's weird. Beacon of Hope. So that takes... Oh no, cast some time is 1 action. Concentration up to a minute. Any number of creatures. Spell bestows hope and vitality. Choose any number of creatures within range for the duration. Each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws, and regains the maximum number of hit points. Yeah, I mean, we can cast Beacon of Hope if you would like to. That's totally up to you guys. So, let's see. Poll. Cast Beacon of Hope. And in the meantime, Walsen will light up, I guess we'll say, Ommoll's sword. And he will light up his own... What is he? He has a crossbow, right? So he lights up his crossbow. So, Ommoll and Walsen both are illuminated. Beacon of Hope is concentration. That is correct. So, I see we have voted yes. So, he casts Beacon of Hope on, I think it's everyone. Yeah, any number of creatures within range. So, everybody now is under that benefit. And onward they go. I wish I could select... Oh, I can! Yes! That's awesome. I wasn't sure if I could select multiple. So, as you get here, you are finding it hard to even just keep your eyes open as you're entering in here. But with the light emanating from the 2 in the front, you do manage to now be able to see a bit more of what's ahead of you. And Ommoll and Walsen continue moving forward, and at this point, you start to see, I mean, it's definitely a very damp cave. You start to see like little puddles on the ground, and they're tough to see because at this point the fog is also starting to get a little bit thicker, starting to cover more of the ground as you get further away from the entrance of the cave. But you can see these like puddles up ahead on the ground a little bit that seem to be from the cave's underground water or whatever that may be, but you see the bolt that you shot, the arrow that you shot, landed in one of them and the fire had gone out. So, oh, here, I will slide this way. You also see to the left what looks to be a wall of some sorts. There seems to be a tunnel that goes that way, and there's a wall with a very, very thick wooden door, it looks like. And then you see a tunnel that continues on kind of to the northwest. Well, I guess in the camera. That way. Smells like zombie in here. Always good to get an arrow back. So Damien walks up and snags the arrow from the edge of the puddle. As the others continue walking in. Choices. So what would you like to do now? Oh, let me get cavern sounds now. We're out of the forest. We are out of the forest. That's dungeon. Oh, here's cave. Let's go with cave. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. That's a little better. Ooh, little drips there too. Nice. Does the smell appear to radiate from the door? Okay. So, we'll say Walsen kind of passes by Damien as he bends down to pick up his bow. His bolt, or his arrow, I'm sorry. And kind of gets up closer to the door itself. Roll a perception check for me. What is the height of the wall? So the wall takes up the entire opening, and then there's a door in that. So this was definitely built here at some point for some reason. But yeah, it's a wooden wall with a thick wooden door right in the middle of it. 5. So as he gets closer to the wall, he's trying to see if maybe there's cracks in the door, and that seems to be what's emanating the smell. But the smell is so bad here already anyway. It's hard for you to even tell what's worse, or if it could even get worse at this point, as you're finding it harder and harder to just get your breath without wanting to throw up at this point. So what would you like to do now? Is the door locked? Walsen, as he's trying to wipe away the tears from his eyes, and he goes down and he grabs the door, and it's definitely locked. And he tries pulling on it, tugging it. Nothing. It's locked, everyone. Also, I think you said that was locked. I'm not positive. They're just continuously trying to talk to Walsen, who cannot get his point across. Deeper into the cave, I want to see a slime. All right. So, as they're trying to understand Walsen, Captain Ommoll just continues on. You watch, he splashes through the puddles. Lenka continues to follow, Damien behind, and Walsen looks at the door and turns and continues on as well. So, as you reach this point, you see, as you turn the corner, what looks to be another door. This one open. And as you kind of turn the corner and see the door, you still see the flow of fog. And it's definitely emanating from somewhere behind that door. You see just fog kind of pouring out at a low level. Oh, actually, is this... One second. This might be... Oh, no. Yeah, we're good. Sorry. Thought I forgot about something. The illusion of choice. Either way, there's a door. I just didn't want you to feel like you made the wrong choice, that's all. And I can zoom in a little too, it's not big. When life closes the door... I hate this stupid heart, always in the way. When life closes the door, there's an open one somewhere else in the dungeon. And make it a sign. Ooh, gust of wind. I like that. To clear the air. Alright. Let me pull that up real quick. Lenka Mantkura. Gust of Wind is what, a cantrip? No. Second level spell. And what was that Beacon of Hope? That was 3, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, catch you later, Turtle. I appreciate you hanging out. And so with that, what way are you sending the gust of wind? Through the door, kind of pushing all of the fumes back, or are you turning and kind of trying to push it all out? Blow in front to clear it out. Okay. So with that, as Lenka steps forward and slides Ommoll aside for the first time, as Lenka always stays in the back, you see him start to move his hands, and as he does so, this airbender line of wind goes through the door and just immediately disperses all the gas. And for a moment, the smell, it doesn't go away. It's still there. Like that smell is just seeped into walls and everything, the wood, you name it. But you are momentarily not in this just noxious gas of smell as the cavern kind of dissipates momentarily. So yeah, at the moment, the fog seems to have dissipated from where you are. So what would you like to do now? Through the open door? Sure. All right. So, impressed by Lenka's promptness to get rid of that, Captain Ommoll steps forward once again, says, "I'll take it from here," and goes and steps up towards the door. And at that point, what you can see through the door is what looks to be some kind of small room, maybe, of some sorts up ahead. Can't totally tell, but as he walks through the door, and I know you can see all the noxious gas here, but it is temporarily dispersed. Let me slide all of these guys in. Whoop. You see what looks to be a bedroom. There's a bed, nightstand, dresser, some kind of desk of sorts on the up against the wall. You got a nice pelt rugs. There's some bookcases, and then there looks to be some kind of just reading books on a smaller table in the center of the room. And again, you see what looks to be just kind of like puddles spaced throughout the room, and as you look kind of to the northwest, you see what looks to be fog now starting to emanate once more through the door in the upper corner there into this room, and is slowly starting to cover the floors a bit. Damien, scout ahead until the smell is too much. So, make a persuasion check. Because I can't imagine. All right, Damien, go check it out till the smells too much. I don't imagine Damien would be jumping. Yeah, I don't know about that. We can go together. This place is kind of creeping me out. I don't know what the smell is, but you can't tell me it doesn't smell like straight death. And Captain Ommoll kind of shrugs it. So Damien semi-unwilling to go by himself, as once again the room's starting to emanate, or the fog is starting to emanate inside the room. So what would you like to do?
Well, perhaps following the fog will bring us to the source of the stench. The sooner we find it, the sooner we get up. The air can breathe.
What do we see? Okay, so as Walsen says that and starts to step forward, go ahead and roll a perception check at advantage as collectively the others start to follow Walsen. D20, 9 plus 4, 13. So you see definitely some kind of alchemical supplies on the desk across the room. And you see the bed, which looks to be made. It doesn't look like it was just recently slept in or anything. It definitely looks to be made. And you see plenty of books on the bookshelf to the bottom right. And then there's the few parchments and just looks like literature on the table in the center, but you're not totally sure, at least like from the door where you are, what that would be. So, but yeah, you don't, with the 13, you don't see anything that stands out as like moving or anything that would be alive by any means. But at this point, the fog has also started to kind of cover the area at this point, and the stench is regaining its very bad smell. How you said roll it? Oh yeah, I did. Actually, you're right. I did say it because it was two of you. So with the 16 plus 4, 20, you do catch one other thing. As the fog rolls in and kind of starts to surround the furniture, and at this point, it's just intense. It is a very intense fog. You notice that the puddles, just before they kind of get covered, they look a little different than the puddles from when you walked in. They're almost... I mean, it's dark in here. You have the light. The reflection that was on the other puddles, that's off the walls, that's off the shiny objects in here, it's not really reflecting off the puddles in here. It almost looks like dark, deep coloration liquid as the fog then covers it, and you kind of lose sight of the puddles a bit. Cast light on the puddle. Okay. So Walsen will go pick a puddle here. And kind of standing up, he's going to... you have to touch it or anything? I don't remember how that works. Light 5e, I think you have to touch it, right? Yeah, you touch one object. All right. So Walsen is going to walk up to the puddle, and in an attempt to see if he can kind of disperse this endless nothingness of darkness, whatever this liquid is, he's going to bend down. I say it's off due to deep water or due to some discoloring effect. Well, with the perception of 20, you're not able to see a depth. It's just light is acting very differently, and the water is definitely darker than the water that looked to be natural cave water up at the front. Lenka? Oh, is Lenka the one with light? I'm sorry. That might have been my fault. You are correct. It is Lenka. Do we jump in? That is up to you. So, Lenka will bend down, and in an attempt to see if he can add light to whatever this is, he will put his hand in the water, and he will try to cast light. And he sees his reflection in the water, and he touches the water, tries to cast light. It's a slight glow. It doesn't light up like an object would. I don't know if I would call water an object. But he definitely adds some kind of light, I guess, to this puddle. But as he goes to pull his hand away from the water, the shadow's hand, or the reflection's hand, stays. And Lenka continues to stare at it for a second, and as his puzzled look kind of takes a hold, the reflection mimics it a little bit, but then rotates its head back the other way. And then immediately moves its hand, and the reflection disappears. Not without tying off a rope. So the rest of the group visibly sees Lenka kind of like step back for a second. So what would you like to do as Lenka watches his reflection disappear?
Gents, have we thought about maybe retiring from this line of work?
As he slowly backs away from the puddles, and the rest of them kind of look at Lenka, wondering what it is he's talking about or why he's acting the way he's acting. And Damien chimes in. Well, looks like you made the puddle glow a little bit. What were you going for? What were you going for there, man? What would you like to do? Check the bookcase. All right. So as Ommoll is letting them kind of figure out what's going on, he will start to walk over to the bookcases and investigate some of the books on the shelves. Walsen checks, and Walsen will go with him.
All right, you figure it out. Let's see what kind of good reads he's got here.
And starts perusing through some of the books. And so as Lenka is trying to figure out what he just saw, go ahead and roll an Arcana check for Lenka. As he's taking in everything that he just witnessed and is just thinking back to what could have possibly caused what just happened to happen. 8 plus 7, so 7, 14, 15. As he continues to think about, okay, I've never seen anything like this. Reflections disappearing from water. What could this be? Nothing is really making sense. I mean, of course, there could always be interplanar things that are going on that he's not sure of, or multiverse type things going on. But he's never seen anything like this in a puddle on the ground or heard of anything like this that would lead to whatever just happened happening. The other two that are going through the books, roll an investigation check with advantage for Ommoll and Lenka. Walsen's investigation is +0. Captain Ommoll's investigation is -1. So it's just 0 straight up. We need one more d20. I see a 6. And actually, we can take your previous roll, Shah, of 14. So with a 14, as they're going through the bookcases, they're seeing a little bit of a variance. You're seeing books about the land surrounding this area. You're seeing notes and stuff about the inhabitants here, the local towns, more of like a history of the area. You're also seeing books on general alchemy, how to craft potions, how to use the weave and utilize that in your potion crafting. And then you see other books that seem to be, it's all a different language to you. Not necessarily that it's a different language, but it is so out of your scope of knowledge that you're not really sure what it's talking about, but you definitely see certain words that point you to something along the lines of the different planes. There are different planar activities that are spoken about in this book, but well beyond your scope of knowledge. Loot. Loot that body. Oh man, if you guys have not seen that video, by the way, by oh, I can't think of his name. I know it went viral right when it came out. Tom Cardy. Called Perception Check. It's a song called Perception Check. If you have yeah, Widget knows what I'm talking about. Oh my god, so funny. If you have not listened to Perception Check by Tom Cardy, I would highly recommend doing that after the stream, because if you want a good laugh, that's the one. Well, he's just lying there, right? Right? Loot that body. Come on, I gotta loot that body, gotta loot that mother... So what would you like your group here to do? And actually, I forgot. I have to get to work at 6:30 tomorrow. I did forget about that. We probably will not finish this one tonight. I might do like an ad hoc stream tomorrow night to finish it up. I was just looking at the time. I totally forgot I have to be in early tomorrow. So... yeah, there may be a cliffhanger, but I'm probably, hopefully, maybe not going to make you wait until next week. I might do it tomorrow night. No problem, Widget. Look at the potion-y table. Sure. Where do we go from here? Well, since this guy's freaking out, what do we do from here, fellas? Do we head over to the door, or what do we want to do? And at this point, yeah, I mean, Shah, at this point, the room has been overwhelmed by the stench here. And so... as the, so you said, look at the potion-y table. So, Walsen and Captain Ommoll will kind of turn their attention to the potion-y table on the other side. And we'll start walking that way. And as they do, it's just getting unbearable to the point where they're actually unable to deal with the stench itself. So, it's getting to the point where it's painful. I will hint at that. And it's not as they're getting closer to the table. It's more just as they're walking that way. Like, just the room is getting overwhelmed. So they get the sense that they're not going to be able to handle this much longer. So they get over to the potion table. And you see, this seems to be very basic components. Stuff that you would find in a component pouch. Something you'd be able to buy from a local herb shop. This definitely doesn't seem like any kind of crazy stuff that you would need to do wild, 9th level potions or spells or anything like that. Smelly stuff is made of not air, so it'll begin to hurt soon. Walsen yells out as he's walking over there, coughing his lungs out. So at this point, Lenka kind of bends down towards the water once more, and as he does, Ommoll, Damien, check out that other door. Finders keepers. Ommoll starts sliding some of the material components into his pockets, and while he's doing that, Ommoll turns and yells out to Damien to go check out that other door. Finally. And so Damien kind of steps over Lenka as he's kind of focused back on that puddle once more. And as he bends over the puddle, he sees his reflection again, following his moves, doing the same thing he's doing. And Ommoll starts to kind of watch Lenka and see, like, what's going on here? What is he doing? And Lenka reaches his hand down once more to see if the reflection will do the same thing, and kind of touches the water, and his reflection touches at the same time. And while he's doing this, Ommoll looks down and he sees his own reflection, and he starts to wonder what's this all about. And he kind of gets a little bit closer, and Captain Ommoll's face is kind of looking back at his own face. And immediately, as Walsen finishes scooping in all the material components and turns around, he watches as Lenka's arm, a small hand comes out of the water, grabs his arm, and yanks Lenka's body into the puddle and just sucks him in. And at the same time, he looks at the corner of his eye. At the same time, Captain Ommoll leaps out of the water, grabs Captain Ommoll, and drags him down in, and immediately he goes splashing down into the puddle and disappears. So, God knows stranger things upside down type stuff. Lenka is now tussling with Lenka in what feels to be nothingness. He can't breathe, and he's face to face with himself, who's kind of spinning him around as he's grabbing him and just kind of moving him here and there, but it's smiling the whole time as Lenka's trying to scream, but he can't hear anything. And the other Lenka stops for a second and with a smile just starts to float through what feels to be air, maybe gravityless, when all of a sudden, sploosh, out of the puddle comes Lenka. And at the same time, sploosh, out of the puddle comes Ommoll, but not just one of each, two. And at that point, there is two of each. Standing outside of the puddles. And both of them look scared out of their minds, confused, staring at the other. And at this point, I would typically roll for initiative, but I think I will actually call it a very short night here, because, like I said, I did forget. It's a new job. It's I have to go on for a Haswapper training tomorrow, and I have to be in by 6:30. So I have to wake up around 5:15, 5:30ish. So I wish I hadn't forgotten about that. I probably would have just postponed this till tomorrow. So at this point, I am going to leave everything as is, and I will explain how we're going to run this. But just a brief overview of how this is run. You are going to be playing both Lenkas and both Captain Ommolls as if they were the normal Lenkas or Captain Omolls. And I know that that's confusing, but like I said, I'll explain it more later on. But yeah, we'll go from there. So
Here's Liz, whose bladder leaks drop in uninvited.
what in the world? Oh, that's an ad. Why did that just pop up? That was an ad for something. I'm not sure. I missed what the ad was for, but it just popped up on one of the things. I thought you would be playing the Doppels. That's the fun part. You're going to be playing them. Because the key is, so you are going to play, I'll do a brief overview. You're going to be playing each one as if they were the original one. Because the other one does not want to get caught. And so the last thing they would do is attack the other people, knowing that then the others would know immediately that that's not the right one. So for now, you're going to be playing each of them as if they are the real one. So you might be attacking yourself. You might not be attacking at all. You might have the others attacking the wrong one. You have no idea. You made this to fight my good rolls. Yeah, Shaw, use all your good ones on the bad person. That's what I need. So, all right, I will keep you guys up to date. If I am able to do it tomorrow night, I will. I'll send a thing out. You might get a notification if you have my YouTube notifications pop up. If you are here and you're not currently in the Discord doing all the Satchmon pools and collections and such, now's a fun time to get over there because we have somebody that is about to complete the base set. The very first person that is going to collect all of the base set. So that will be super cool to witness. I am excited for that. And the only card that I actually had that I could help with, he traded somebody for today. So I can't even help him. But yeah, good time to go over there. Make sure you're pulling your cards every day, or at least within 3 days, because that's when the tokens expire. And yeah, I will see you guys all over there. Is this like the cherry in Mario? I don't actually know what that is. Continue tomorrow or next week. We need to plan. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll wait. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It all depends. It depends on how tomorrow goes. Because there's, like I said, there's a lot that I'm learning at this new job right now. And so, I mean, this week has been just, it's been kind of boring, actually, is the funny part. Because I haven't had my laptop. They haven't gotten me my laptop. So I haven't really been able to do any, like, work. But it's been a lot of, obviously, the new hire orientation trainings. But then it's a lot of regulatory stuff that I have to read up on and learn. And so it's just a lot of knowledge that I'm trying to take in. So, yeah, I will try to do what I can here and see when I can get this back up. Because this is a fun one. I do enjoy this one a lot. So, all right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go hit the sack. I'll see you over on the Discord at some point. And I'll catch y'all later. Have a good night. Thanks, Shaw. I appreciate it. I can't wait to be doing more. Once this job tones down and I start getting actual YouTube videos back out and such, I'm excited to get back to that. So I look forward to it. See you later, Tortle. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll let Widget know that he missed the cliffhanger, but that's okay. I'm sure he'll pop in on the next one. See you guys.